welcome back to Times Square today. I'm your host, Bob Guinea. Now, joining me is Shaun Capps. Shaun Capps, personal injury law. I mean, you are everywhere. $1 Million advocate. I was reading up about you.
Yeah.
Your track record is quite impressive. But before we get into that, let's drink this in for a hot second,
It's
right?
wild, isn't it?
We're in the heart of Times Square. I mean, this is where so much action happens. But man, you're not afraid of this kind of stuff. You probably see it a lot, don't you? A lot of the things that go on around here.
It is surreal to see it in person, but this is Americana at its finest.
It is.
It's a little overwhelming, but it's great.
It's a
great
great
to be here.
experience.
Yep.
You know, they say if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. That's what they say.
Yep, I've heard that.
But all right, let's get into it. I mean, this is quite an impressive rap sheet that you have when I'm looking it over. I mean, you've done some incredible things. You said something which I really love. You said, I'm a personal injury lawyer, but I'm the good kind.
Yeah.
And I read about you, since you do a lot of pro bono work, you take on cases where they wouldn't normally get someone of your stature. I mean, how did that become your mission? How did that become the thing that started to drive you?
Well, I don't really know where the stigma started, but there is one, and we have to talk about it. We talk about it with juries and jury selection, The truth is, I believe, this may be self-serving, but I believe that the insurance industry has done a great job of framing their position. But there's also the other side of it, and that's where when people are injured due to no fault of their own and they're going through quite literally the worst time of their life, they need someone that will not only bring clarity but walk beside them, but be their advocate and fight for them. So when I say, hey, I'm the good kind, we do it in jest because I know the bottom line is that my job only exists to help people. And my personal mission is to help people. So there's no better feeling than having the conclusion of a case. And sometimes, let's be honest, it takes years of litigation. It's knockdown battles. It's depositions and discovery and experts, and it takes forever. But there's no feeling like wrapping it up and giving that client closure.
Oh, I bet. I mean, it's and what you do a lot of times is literally life-changing.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're giving people who maybe haven't been able to work, who maybe have been living on half their salaries or whatever it might be due to this injury, and you're able to turn their entire life around, their family's life around for generations.
Yep, absolutely.
I mean, you're in that high guy, where it says like the multi-million-dollar suits, and I mean, you're that guy.
Yeah.
So
we've had some success on cases, but it's every case is different. Every case has their own set of facts. And one thing that I had an old law professor who made a statement that always stuck with me. He said, look, this is a service industry. When you put your suit on, he's like, that's your uniform. You're here to serve, right? And if we're going to talk about faith things, Christ came to serve, not to be served. If I keep that in mind, this is a uniform. I'm here to serve the client. Then my perspective is in the right place. But that professor said, look, if someone's at a point where they're walking into a lawyer's office, that's the biggest thing in their life. No matter what it is. Business dispute, personal injury, whatever that is the biggest thing in their life. And I found that to be true. So whether it's a small case or a huge award or whatever that case is, it matters to that person tremendously. So no case too small, no case too big. It matters to the client.
Gosh, I gotta be honest. I don't think I've ever thought of it that way, but you're right. Someone walking into a lawyer's office, that's not something people do every day.
Nope.
That's something they do when they're at a low point.
Something happened to bring them to that point. For sure.
I think I know one of the answers to this question I want to ask you, but what have you thought, what have you seen as the biggest misconception of what you do?
That's a loaded.
Well, let me say it this way. You had said it, which I thought was really eloquent. You said the insurance companies have done a great job of framing how they are viewed, which leaves, you got a white hat and a black hat, right?
Sure.
Really, I mean, and so in my mind, that's such an easy answer. But I also feel like I'm sure there's so many more levels for you on that.
Yeah, there are lots of misconceptions. I would answer that this way. I would say, probably the biggest one is that if someone is at that point where they're walking into a lawyer's office and they have to hire an attorney to intervene in whatever that situation is, that it doesn't get more complex for you at that point. That's why I exist. That's why my team exists. It's not going to get more layered and confusing for you. That's why we're here. So if it is a personal injury, that person can focus on getting the treatment they need. They can recover. They can focus on that. They're not trying to track down people with phone calls or getting bogged down with that process. That's what we're here to do. So that's the big misconception. And I think maybe a little bit deeper, the biggest misconception with personal injury law and the cases are that people will do the right thing.
Yeah.
You know, and this is not to, there are great adjusters and defense attorneys that I have great admiration for, and we work well together. But the truth is that black hat, white hat is that the bottom line has to be protected,
Yeah.
no matter the
Yeah.
industry. And a lot of times they're making money by not paying out money. So they do what they can to protect that bottom line. And they ultimately may do the right thing, but unfortunately it may take years of litigation
Yeah.
and fighting. So I think that's a misconception that, hey, I was rear-ended, I didn't do anything wrong, they're gonna take care of me. Doesn't always work out that way.
Right. I mean, more
Always
often than not, you hear that it
Yeah.
doesn't, right? That's why you guys exist. That's
Absolutely.
why an injury attorney exists, which I love. Now, share a story with our viewers of someone who came to you, seemed like the chips are stacked against them, and you were able to turn things around for them.
Yeah, sure. There's lots of those. We call them war stories. I'm careful about that because I respect our military.
Yeah.
But we call them. Look, there's so many, but I would say there are ones that clients have gone to multiple law firms and ran their case by them, and for whatever reason they get turned down. Sometimes it doesn't mean that their case doesn't have any merit at all. It actually doesn't mean that. Period. Maybe that attorney's too busy. Maybe they haven't worked that specific niche of a case, or they just don't feel confident handling, or they know it's going to be litigated. They don't want to get into that, or whatever that case is.
Yeah.
But I think being able to objectively look at a case and say, it doesn't matter who turned it down for what reason, let me look at it.
Sure.
Because if they're, maybe I see something they don't.
Right.
And I've been fortunate to take on those clients where they have been turned down, they're discouraged, they feel insulted, they feel like their dignity is taken away because they're like, nobody is listening. I didn't do this, I'm going through this thing. So to take those cases and to work them and to ultimately end up at a good result where you are handing life-changing money, because money doesn't restore time. It doesn't give you back that piece of health that was maybe taken, but that's what we do in our justice system.
Right.
Money damages are how we make people whole and how we restore them.
Sure.
So when you can do that for a client who was turned down multiple times, and you can have that great conclusion, hand them life-changing money and say, I know this doesn't fix everything, but it's the best we can do, and they are just overwhelmed with it, that's the best feeling in the world.
Oh, I can imagine, because you took them probably when they're at the darkest time, you know, they thought it was over, hope was gone, and you brought it back. So good for you, man. I would imagine that has to be a very rewarding feeling for you and your team.
I'm blessed to do it, really, I really am.
Well, you seem like a really great guy, man. I was told you were a wonderful guy before I got to meet you, so it's a pleasure having you on the show. Tell our audience how they can find you if they need your services.
Yeah, we make it really easy. The easiest way is just go to the website, cappsinjurylaw.com. That's just my last name, C-A-P-P-S, injurylaw.com. We have a national number, 205-955-5555. But probably website, there's a simple form, fill it out. I'm on all social media, it's easy to find there, Capps Injury Law. But it'd be honored for anybody to connect, and would love to hear from anybody.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for being on the show. Great to see you as well.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Times Square Live. We'll be back.